Okay, now that we have our two actions, we have the copy action, which is F2 or whatever you named it, or a shortcut you put there, if you did. And then we have the adjustment one. So I figured it out. And let me just show you, you see right here, this is a group. It's like a file folder. When the file is halfway down like that, that means the file's open, it's ready for files. File is open. And then when the file's closed, you won't be able to file in there. So you can imagine if you want that file to be full of little papers, you can put them in there. So this is what I decided to do. So I can use the F3 to make an adjustments folder, and then I can use levels as an adjustment layer, and then I can do invert if I want, all the things that I normally would do, but now they're all in one little folder, and it looks nice and clean. And that folder, all I had to do to get to that folder is F3. Now, if you figured out a way to get every single image as an action with the adjustment levels, this is where you can find how a way to make it look neater, so you won't have this big window with all of these things in there just kind of scattered around. You can put them in folders, and you can connect actions to them if you want. So go ahead and play with that if you haven't already, and see how you will want to do your next actions if there are actions that you want to do. You can take the time to do that now. And if you see on the bottom where you have the adjustments, where you see everything that was done, you can take that action away. And this is why I like the adjustments in a folder, is that you can have it all right there. You can turn the whole folder off so it can go back to the original, what it looked like in the background of the original image, or you can open up the folder and just turn the eyeball off, turn the view off of the adjustment layer. So if there is something that you messed up on and you did it and you didn't really like it, then you can just turn the eyeball off, or even delete that layer and it's gone. Works really well. So the action I just changed to examination. I wanted my next action to be my analysis action. So I wasn't keen on that. So here is the action for the analysis. So you can have different layers all grouped into one. You can organize your presets. You can do all these wonderful things. I like to have my F4, which is default to the paste command, but I like my F4 to be my analysis layers. And you can just create another action for like all the layers that you typically would want to see in your analysis documentation. Things like minutia, things like distortion, things like the ridge path and the ridge flow, things that you would want to document in Word format, things that are demonstrative, that you can actually show the objective data to why you concluded the way that you did. This is so easy. So, thinking about what I want. So under my analysis heading layer, I want to make a layer. So I'm recording the action. So I want to make a layer, or do I want to make a layer group? So you can create a layer group and name that group analysis. So that will be the first thing, and you can see in your actions that you made a group. And now you set that group to another word. You can make that analysis, you can make that whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you actually name it, because it's your action. It's what you are going to repetitively do each time you're doing your examination. So one good thing about actions is that you don't have to know where you want to go. It's easier, it's faster if you do have an idea. But if this is the first time you've ever used actions, play with it. That is the best way to understand and to get what you want. Now, what I can see right now with what I'm doing wrong, yes, I'm now going to name that analysis. I should have did that in the very beginning. So this is a great way to show you that your actions can be edited. But sometimes it can get a little hairy because things like set current layer, what the heck does that mean? It just basically says that you change something about it. You change the word, you change the something. But if you get those all screwed up, or if you move them, or if you delete one, it's not going to look the way that you want. So having a plan to begin with really does help. So I can see now that I named my analysis layer folder after I did the layer for the ridge flow, it's going to be messy. It's not going to be the way that I want, and I'm going to have to redo this action anyway. So this is going to be a great way and a great time to actually play with your analysis actions. It is perfectly fine to go back again to your actions and tweak them or move them. But if you really want to get some sort of workflow going now, today, this is the best time to get it right. So if you're following me right now, go ahead and make your analysis, whatever shortcut you want. Make the layer group and then name the layer group analysis right then and there. And then put your other layers inside. The layers inside the folder are like little papers. And if the papers are inside there, you can just close them. Or you can move the papers around in there depending on what order you want them in. But when you're doing the action, just know that the end result is the most important. So wherever you end up, if you end up with 4 layers inside that folder, if you end up with that folder or a layer inside the folder, highlight it while you're doing the action, that wherever you stop the action recording is where you're going to end up when you use that action on your image. So just go ahead and play with that. If you don't like things, you can easily delete them and then change them all over again. This is just testing that action, and it does do a good job.